Oh. Okay. Be right back. I'm turning the light on. Every single day, I turn the live on and I go, there's lots of light in here. It'll be fine. And then I turn the live on and I'm like, wow, it's dark. So good morning, good morning. How is everyone? Jessie's come to say hi. Go and lay down for a little bit, okay? Just go and lay down. And today we're going to do the bricks in the background. So we're going to do a super easy satin stitch, which some people, here's your daily reminder to drink some water, as demonstrated by Jessie. Oh, finally able to join for a mid-morning feed with my new baby. Congratulations on your new baby. That's so exciting. So yeah, some people really love a satin stitch. Some people really hate it, but for this one, it makes, she's just really thirsty. I don't know what's going on. It makes the most sense to do a lovely satin stitch and then fill in all the bricks. So I'm going to do 3 strands, and I've picked a lighter color like this. I think it's going to go well with my mantelpiece. Mantelpiece? Is that what they're called? Mantle, whatever. So you don't have to have a gray or anything like that. You could do, there's lots of red bricks, like a burnt, like a, what's it called? Like a burnt orange kind of color. Something like this could be really fun. Even something a bit darker, which I probably don't have, or you can mix and match a couple of them. So if you wanted to do some of them like a real deep red and some of them more orange, you could do brown, you could do gray, you could do light gray. I'm doing like a creamy color like that because I want my stockings to like pop off. And there'll be other little things that you could do with the stockings as well. So, like if you didn't want like bright colored ones. But yeah, so that's where we're at today. So what we're going to do, I've got 3 strands on my needle already. I've already separated it. I was ready today. I was ready to stitch. And if you'll notice, I have finished my mantle. So look who's ahead of the game, guys, for once. It's me. So what we're going to do for this, I said the satin stitch. There's 2 ways to do the satin stitch. There's the thread saver method, which you might want to do if you don't have very much thread left. We will use a lot of this because we are going to do it for the entire background here, and then also down here, and then the little arch. So, oh, a squirrel. So we will use a lot of it, but by separating it into 3 strands, you've got double the length. Do you know what I mean? So instead of just having 8 meters or 10 meters or however much it comes as, then we'll have double that. So we're using a little bit, we're making our thread go farther. And what we're going to do is the 2 different ways. We've got the thread saver method, we've got the regular method, and we're just going to make them nice and parallel. What I like to do is do a nice little grid on there, and that's the guidelines, which even to this day, I tend to do them like even in my own work. So for this, we're going to go, I hate having it on the side like this because I can't draw it very well. Okay, so for these, we're going to go straight up to the curve here and then start again. And that way we'll know where our wreath goes. Because I had a couple of questions yesterday saying, how do you know? Because you've just stitched over some stuff. And yeah, because these here are going to be really easy to add later. So it's just a little loop. And then we've got like almost like a backward candy cane, like a little hook there. So this way, we'll be able to keep. And you don't have to do all of this today, obviously. This is one of those ones that we'll probably work on maybe 2 days. You can hear I'm trying to concentrate. I'm like breathing so hard. Like, oh gosh, careful, careful. Get your lines drawn on. You can do a couple now and do a couple later. I'm going to try and do this whole top bit today. So I'm just going to draw them all. And the lines are not perfect, guys. Okay, they're not going to be perfect. Oops. They're just guidelines. They're just to try and keep you on track a little bit. Whew. Okay, so for the satin stitch, like I said, we're going to go around the things that we see. So we're going to go around these things here. So these ones here will be like a triangle shape. Yeah. And then around the wreath, we're going to use the wreath line. So we're going to stitch over the leaves. We're going to use the wreath line as like a good little stop. And that way you'll have a circle, like the edge of a circle, that we can work with. So let's start down here and we'll just make our way across. So the regular satin stitch is like this. We've got our 3 strands. We're going to do it sideways. You can also do it sideways, meaning horizontal. You can also do it up and down, so vertical. I find it's not as effective for bricks that way. So it just depends on what you like. Another one of those depends on what you like. So a regular satin stitch is like this. We've got our 3 strands. You make 1 stitch across, and you come back to this side, and you make another stitch across, and you continue that. So what you're going to get with this is your stitches will fully cover the front and the back. So that's why I said if you are running out of thread, or if maybe you only have so much, or you don't know what number you used or something like that, you can always do the thread saver method, and I'll show you that in just a minute too. So we're going to use a lot for this, but again, it's only 3 strands. Okay, so we've got 1 brick done. So let's flip it over to the back and you can see what I mean about it being completely covered. So we started over here and we went down over here. So this right here is all parallel lines. So we kind of followed the grid that we made. And then on the back, it's going to be completely covered as well. Well, I snagged. Looks like I snagged something here in the middle. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. So you've got completely covered. And then on the front, it's also completely covered. So let's do the thread saver method, because you'll probably need to use both of these in conjunction in order to make your thread go a little bit farther. So now we're going to do the next one, the next brick over. And you can work these from top to bottom, left to right, side to side. It doesn't matter. You can start at the top and just go down. It's up to you. It's up to you how you want to do it. So the thread saver method is like this. Okay, you do your stitch, your first stitch, and instead of coming back up over here, yeah, because I came up here and went down here, you're going to come up right next to it and go back. Okay, again, come up right next to it, right next to that. And this is another one of those where they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfect straight across bricks. They all don't have to be the same size. It's okay. All right? Don't worry if some of yours aren't. Completely parallel or whatever. I mean, I did draw it, so consider the source. Whoops. Okay, so we're just going around this one here. Like that, and then I've got to go here and fill this one up. That's where I started, so of course there's a knot there. And we just keep going back and forth. And then when I flip this over, you're going to actually be able to see that we didn't fill the complete back. The only real long thread will be from when I went to here to here, so that I could fill this other little space up. So I tend to use like both methods. I don't really like one more than the other, if you know what I mean. I tend to go where it's most useful, meaning like if I know there's a knot there, then I'll move the stitch to somewhere else. So I kind of mix the two of them together. Let's flip it over and you can see. So this here was the threads, the regular satin stitch where you come up on one side and down on the other side, the same way, like the same pattern, the whole entire way. And then this one here was the thread saver. So we only have these little stitches on the side here. And like I said, there's only that one long stitch that's connecting those two. So it just depends. It depends on what you like. Some people don't like the thread saver method because they said that the stitches, they don't lay super flat. And they like that really nice flat look. But it just depends. It just depends. Like I said, I tend to use both of them, mix and match, that kind of thing. It looks like mine's like, this line like got a little wonky. And that's another thing. You can always go in, add a couple more stitches, or fix your drawing before you get started. Because remember, I'm not like tracing these patterns from anything. I'm literally drawing them myself. So like, that's why I said consider the source here. I come up with it and then just draw it. So sometimes you might not get even bricks or even, like the roof things or whatever. They might be a little bit like, okay, Tori. Because they're not traced patterns, they're all hand drawn. And then I trace it onto here. So then that's 2 times I've drawn it. So yeah, so the only real problems that we tend to have with satin stitch is that they're not parallel. And parallel is when they are next to each other like this and they go on into infinity, okay? Not like my fingers, they're a bit wonky, but parallel like this, yeah? So we don't want to have any that are overlapping, and we don't want to have any that are like this, and we don't want to have any that have gaps. So we want to try and get our satin stitches nice and close together. And that comes with practice. So if you're like, oh, this is like my worst nightmare, don't worry about it. I promise you can do it. By the end, you will be a pro. Jesse's finally went to go lay down on the sofa. We still have to sell that sofa, our old sofa. Because that one, there's nothing wrong with that one. Does anyone want sofa? Does anyone know anybody that needs a sofa? We need to get it out of our house. It takes up so much space. It's just like in the kitchen. So I've got to do that today. Put it on Marketplace or something. I've got a knot though. Let's see if I can get this out without looking. Sometimes you can just pull it a couple times and it'll come out. But this one feels like a big one. That's what she said. Okay. And then the other problems that we normally have with satin stitch are that you're pulling them too tight. So if you do the regular satin stitch, okay? And you go up on one side, down on the other. Essentially, you've got a whole cover on the front and a whole cover on the back, all right? And what happens is when you have the same holes together, it can pinch your fabric together like this. So we kind of just want them to lay on the top of the fabric, and we don't want to pull them too tight. We're not trying to manipulate the fabric when we're stitching. We're just trying to lay the threads on top. So if you're pulling through and you see that actually you're pulling quite tight, and you're pulling that fabric together and you can see it pinching, then yeah, you need to stop hulking out and be a bit more gentle. Because you just want them to lay on the top like that. You don't want them to be manipulating or pulling or pinching or puckering your fabric. So yeah, that's always something to have a think about. You can see if British Heart Foundation would collect a sofa for you as a donation, unless you'd rather sell it. Do you know, someone else said it about donating. And I think that will probably be the route that we take and see if they need it. I know with those ones, they like to have all of the, not paperwork, but all of like the tags and stuff, because they have to be fire restricted, fire retardant, maybe? Fire, like the fabric has to comply with like a fire thing or something like that. But yeah, we've got to get rid of the sofa. And then we'll have more space. Jesse's going to be like, excuse me. That was my sofa. Because she loves laying on there. Now for all of these lines, so do you see we're actually stitching from each brick individually? We're not stitching the whole length at one time, meaning we're not going from here all the way over, okay? So like this one, we're not doing the whole length of like the chimney part. We're doing each brick individually. And what we're going to do later is choose a different color and then make your outline like this so that each brick will be outlined. So you will have to choose a different color later. That's quite easy. You can always just do the same mantelpiece color, or a black or a gray, something like that. It's quite agreeable to a lot of different colors. So there we go. Such tiny little stitches here. See, this is where I tend to do the regular satin stitch because it's easier to just stitch it quick. And now that I have the guidelines on there, it makes it super simple. Ooh. To just stitch. So yeah, I think tomorrow we're not going to do the lines. It'll probably be like next week or something, because I want to give you enough time to do all of the lines and everything like that. So I think we'll probably just do one day on this technique, meaning you have the rest of the week and the weekend to kind of do a couple bricks in your spare time and stitch it all up. And then we'll do other things like next week. So like this part here and like this part here where we have to actually have the background stitched first so that we can stitch the wreath on. That will be towards the end because we want to make sure that we have all of the background done before we stitch the wreath that goes on top of it. Does that make sense? So we'll do other things for the rest of this week that don't necessarily interfere with this. So like the fire, like the log, the rug, even the tree, the presents. I mean, there's lots of things, but this is kind of something that it's the same technique, so I don't really want to spend like loads of time on it. Oh, Jessie's just seen the squirrels outside. She's like, hold on. So yeah, there we go. This is it. After I finish the thread for up here, these ones down here are exactly the same. So we're doing the 3-strand satin stitch. You can use the regular satin stitch, or you can use the thread saver. And then these ones here will be exactly the same, exactly the same, except they'll go sideways. Yeah, so just like the bricks that we had before, they'll go like this. So this is your stitch direction, if you're wondering what I'm drawing on here. This is the direction that we should be stitching in. Now, if you want to switch it up and make some of the bricks be stitched in a different way, meaning like if you wanted to do, like I'm doing them like a horizontal, you know, the same as these ones. If you wanted to make them vertical, then of course give it a go. I just didn't think that it gave the same effect. So if I just draw on here, you can kind of see I feel like that this way it doesn't look as good as this way, but it's all personal preference. Do you know what I mean? Where I feel like this way looks better to me. But if you're like, hey, I actually like the other way better, then do it. It's your hoop. You have to stare at it unless you're going to give it to a friend. You know? I feel like this way looks better to me. They look like laid bricks, whereas this way looks a bit funny. So it just depends on what you like. I mean, I know I say that a lot, but sometimes the stitch direction, for me, it's almost like drawing. So when you're drawing, you want to, especially if you want to make something look 3D, then you want to make your pencil lines or your paint strokes in that kind of movement, and it will make it look 3D, as opposed to like maybe like coloring in a coloring book where you just fill it in. So this is kind of like adding like the two of them together, like we're filling in the space, but we're also paying a little bit of attention to what direction we're stitching things in, so we can make them look a little bit more real. And that's not to say that anyone's wrong if they prefer the other way. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, you like what you like. That's all. Should I do another one? That should be fine, right? So this here is where the guidelines can really be helpful, because they can really show you where you need to go. Whereas if I didn't draw those on there, I probably would have put it from here all the way down to the corner and then had to unpick it because it's not a parallel straight line. Okay, so let's finish this one and then we'll go and do these so you can see what they look like around the fireplace. And remember, we're stitching straight over these leaves here, so don't go around them. Don't go around these little loops. We're going straight over to the, let's see if I've got like a purple pen or like a dark blue one or something. Here we go. That way you can see it better, this part. Okay, so that's kind of like the line that we're stitching into here. So this is where I would use the thread saver method because I want my thread to last longer. I don't want to put more thread on. Now, if you use more strands, it's going to look a bit more chunky. You're going to fill it in a little bit faster. Maybe if you used 4 strands, you wouldn't need so many stitches because it'll fill it in a little bit faster. But it will have like a thicker look to it. So again, depends on what you like. Okay, and we probably have enough to do this little corner here of the brick. Yeah, and then next week we'll add all the lines, and it's gonna really like tie it together, and you'll be able to see each brick like individually, and it's gonna look so good. Okay, so by stitching up to that line and going around it, what we've done here is made it so you can see, it's a really tiny corner, so it might be a little bit hard, but you can really see the outline of this circle because we're stitching up to it. And that way, when we do the wreath the next time, you'll already have a guideline and you won't have to freestyle putting that on there. So hope that makes sense. You know? I think I forgot a little line here. It's okay, we'll just make it up. This is like the thread that just, I know, it's quiet today. I was just thinking about that. But this is just like the thread that keeps on giving. Like, I feel like, I thought for sure you would use way more thread than this. But if I flip it over, you'll see that I used a lot of thread saver method. So it's a little bit hard, like, especially when people do cut thread for kits. Because sometimes you'll use a little bit more than other people. So here we go. This is what my back looks like. So we've got our first brick there. This one here, I did a whole lot of regular satin. And then all of this was all thread saver satin, except for a couple times. So you kind of have to just, you know, have a little think. I know a lot of the cut thread, you know what I'm talking about, where you don't get a full skein of thread, you just get cut pieces, like pre-cut pieces. I know a lot of them, they give you a lot of extra, which is so generous and so nice because, like I said, like I might use way less than you might use, or you might use way less than what I might use. It just depends on where you put your stitches, and sometimes that can be really tricky. So I don't know. I've got a couple kits coming up. Oh, I should show you guys. I love showing you guys extra things that I don't show other people. It's like my favorite thing. It's like it's like close friends, but not. You know what I mean? How people use like the close friends thing. I should go grab them. But I'm working with a local wire artist, and she's made these little, I think you might have seen them in my stories, these little wire shapes. I'm going to go grab them. Should I go grab them? I want to go grab them. I'm going to go get them. They're so cute. Not me running. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm such a dork because I'm so excited about these. But I'm trying to feel like, I'm trying to decide if I should use the cut thread because they're so small, or just throw all the skein in there because way easier for me to do that. But anyways, so we've got the tree. So obviously I've got to move that down a little bit, I think. We've got the tree, and then there's a wee house on the top. So that's made of wire. and then you kind of stitch it. Can you see on the corners? You just stitch it on. So this is just a sample. So we'll see what actually happens. And then we've got, let's move that out of the way. So we've got the tree there. I hope she doesn't kill me for showing these. Then we've got an actual Christmas tree with some flowers, and then it's like filled. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. It's so exciting. But they're like a little bit Christmassy. Do you know what I mean? Then we've got the stocking. Hi, George. And the stocking is like a really simple version of the mittens that we did before. So you could always put your own stitches in here, but I just did something really simple. I was like, again, a sample. And then we've got the snow globe. Okay, you guys love these. There you are. We've got the snow globe, and I just did some little like berries or something on top with a gray snowflake. And then they're like stitched over the wire, so it looks like, imagine it like that. So it looks like it's like inside the snow globe. And then we've got the star that says, "Oh, holy night." So I'm hoping, I have to take pictures today. These are all 5 of them together. Let's see if I can put them on there. I have to take pictures today. I'm trying to decide if I need to move that tree or not. Because it might be just a little bit, it just might be a little bit, you know what I mean? I might need a little something there. So yeah, that's what we've got. Can you see? Oh, they're so fun, aren't they? So they're really small 3-inch hoops. And we're just trying to see if we can, because they'll be kits. Because she actually doesn't make these wire shapes so small. Like, she doesn't sell them so small in her shop. Normally she does words and things. I can't cope. Oh my gosh, I love the house and the Christmas tree. But I think we might do like a 1 for a certain price, or like 2 for a certain price. Do you know what I mean? So you could get like 2 hoops, 2 pieces of fabric, all the thread and the 2 wire pieces for like a little bit cheaper than if you bought like 2 separate kits. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, we're trying to work out how we can do that, because I don't know, you might want to like give them as gifts or something. So maybe you don't want them together. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's what we've got. So I've been working on those for like the last week, just to try and see. But she's got a little baby, so she's been with the baby, obviously. So we had a little idea and had a phone call and had a chat. They're so cute though. And I feel like we could do them like the other mini kits. The other mini kits without the wire were $20, which is like 17 or 16 pounds. So I think we can do them like maybe 18 pounds. But then I'm thinking we could do like I said, 2 for a certain price. So that, you know, just have to see like how that goes together. But they're so cute. I think they're gonna look so cute on the Christmas tree, or if you just had like a little space to put them in. Okay, get away here. So yeah, I feel like I need to screenshot the comments and send it to her. But yeah, I'm gonna take the pictures and see if we can get everything, and then take a stock of threads, etc. Because I have some of them already, but I know I'll have to ask my thread guy to order some more. So we'll probably do like a pre-order type situation with for like maybe a week or 2 weeks, 10 days, and then do then ship them all. So I'm hoping that they'll be with you. If we launched, let me see the calendar here. If we launched them tomorrow, which is kind of in my head what we were going to do. If we launched them like tomorrow on the 10th, and then kept it open till like the 20th, and we could ship them on like the 22nd. You know? And then that would give like a good 1, 2, where's December? 3, 4 weeks to get them to America if you're in America. So, yeah. And then obviously if you're in England, then they'd come like in 3 days. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on behind the scenes. I feel like I've been really quiet because I haven't been able to show you like what they are necessarily, because one, we didn't know if they were going to work or not. So we were like, well, I don't want to show them off. And then people be like, I want them. And then me be like, well, they didn't really work out. So, oops, I got that a little too far apart. But yeah, so normally she doesn't do the wire shapes like that. She does more words and phrases and stuff, and you can mount them up into your on your wall. So it like literally just looks like writing on the wall. So cute. So yeah, I hope you guys love them. We'll see. We'll see what happens. How cute will that look with a little line across? And when we do the lines across, so just do a little outline, that kind of helps to fix any little things that you've got like that too. Like if you've like maybe not made your line super straight or whatever. Oops, bingo. There we go. And it's almost December. Well, I say it's almost December. It's the 8th, but I'm so excited for the advent calendars, and I can open them. I saved one so I can open it every day. So you guys can see what people got in their advent calendars. I'm so excited. So much exciting things coming up, you know what I mean? So many, I mean. Jesse's over there like, be quiet. Sarah, my mission for a low-cost Christmas is being crushed by the more cool local brands I find on Instagram. Just take all my money. Oh, I feel that so much. Like, I feel like I'm forever finding like a new, like something new that I'm like, oh, I have to have this. I have to have that. But like, luckily, I'm having the baby after Christmas. Well, like, fingers crossed, you know? So there's no like baby's first Christmas things this year. Because otherwise I think I would be absolutely broke and begging you guys to buy stuff. Like, please buy it. I need more stuff. Just take all my money. Oh. Do you know what? I'm so happy to hear people are shopping local though. Like, that's so important. And I know there's that meme that keeps going around, you know, about the shipping containers and stuff. And I understand what they mean, but I know a lot of small businesses do manufacture products, and some of their products, which they are small businesses, are stuck on the shipping containers. So that's a bit, you know. But I just love seeing so many people shopping small this Christmas. It makes me so happy. Can't wait to open my advent calendar. Oh, I hope you guys love it so much. Like, I cannot tell you all the stress about like what to put in it, and like if you guys like it, and like all that kind of stuff. Wish you luck on baby coming after Christmas. Mine was due before on December 2nd, but surprised us on October 27th. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is early, isn't it? My husband's birthday is on the 3rd, December 3rd. At the rate I'm going, I probably will have them early, huh? Them I always save them, and then people are like, are you having 2 babies? I'm like, no. I just don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So I'm calling them or it. And then one time, this is probably a Midwest thing, but I shortened them to like M, like EM. Like I have them. And people were like, him! I was like, no, we don't know. Calm down. So I have to be very clear because people are like, oh, we found out. You've been keeping a secret. I'm like, promise, it's not. It's just people speak different in the Midwest, don't they? If you're from the Midwest, you'll know what I'm talking about. People will say, have them for them. Yeah, it's so funny. Good morning, Mel. You missed out. I did a sneak peek on some new products. You're going to hate me. Because you're going to be like, why are you doing that? Okay, I'm just going to finish this thread and then I'll be done for today. Because it's already been 40 minutes. And it's probably really boring to watch me do the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, we saw all of the Christmas products. Well, there's only 5, so all is kind of a stretch. And then I've got a Christmas sampler as well. It's going to go in the Barmy Fox Facebook group. So if you're not in there, go get in there. Just search the Barmy Foxes on Facebook and you will find it. You don't have to answer questions or anything like that. I literally let anyone in except people who like just made a Facebook yesterday. And if I don't know them, you know, because sometimes you get spammy people in there like, I made a lot of money trading stocks. And you're like, oh God, piss off. So yeah, I've got that. I kind of missed the autumn one, to be fair. I feel like it's a little bit past that, but I'll put a little note in the group and ask if people still want one or not. Too many free patterns. Y'all won't buy my stuff anymore. Holding out for the free stuff. But, yeah, I do love putting little free things in there for you guys. It's good fun. And it's such a nice thank you for, like, supporting me for so long. Because some of you guys have been there since I made it. Like, and that was so long ago, you know? Mel's laughing at me. You know it's true. But it's nice to do that, you know? So, yeah, we've got that. Yeah, and like, it's such a small thing, like, but it's just such a small way to say thank you. Like, I know it's not much, so I'm not acting like I'm, like, giving away loads, because I know it's not. It's really not. And a lot of times they're quite nice, because the patterns that are in there. I think there's, like, 6. Nem had a look the other day. I say the other day. It was, like, last month, though. And he said that there's, like, 6 or 7 free patterns in there. So if you have a search back, you should be able to find a bunch. If you haven't been in there for a long time. Like, if you're just joining. There should be quite a few in there that you can do. Here we go. Last stitch. And then we'll zoom out and see what it looks like. So, I went for cream color. You can obviously do like a red brick, a brown, light brown. Check on Pinterest. Check, like, literally Google, like, pictures of fireplaces, you know? And you'll find loads of them. Loads of different colors. You can make it a colored fireplace if you want to. You don't have to fill it in if you don't want either. If you're like, Satin Stitch is doing too much, I don't want to do that, then don't do it. You can just do a little outline if you want. But yeah. There we go. So that's all I've done in 40 minutes. 50 minutes, actually. 45 minutes. So don't worry if you don't finish today. Just do a couple. We're not going to add the stuff on top of it that really make a difference, like the banner and the wreath until like next week, the end of next week, or even the third week. Okay? Because I want to give you guys enough time to do that. So, and we'll add the lines on details day because that's really easy. They're just straight stitches. So that will look really nice. So yeah, tomorrow we'll move on to something else. So please, please, please don't stress out. It looks like I need another stitch there, huh? Please don't stress out and be like, I need to finish this tomorrow. I need to finish this tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Okay? Just do a little bit at a time. Do your finger exercises. Okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, do your whatever. And yeah, just take your time and have fun. So yeah, tomorrow we'll do something else, and hope you've enjoyed all the little sneak peeks for today. So enjoy your Tuesday. Don't forget to tag me at the Barmy Fox in your progress. Even if you don't do the whole thing, you know, do what you can. And yeah, I'll speak with you tomorrow. All right? Bye.